Today we're going to be talking about Dia de los Muertos, Fête du Mort, Dia de los Santos. Yes, all these holidays that around this time starting today. Welcome to Health and Life with me, Coach Natalie, and let's get right into today's topic. Our ancestors. And we're going to talk about what those holidays are, first of all. Then we're going to talk about how we can use those days to honor our ancestors, and also, of course, we have to talk about how we're going to use those days to honor ourselves, because today we're honoring our ancestors, but one day we will be ancestors to someone else. So we're going to discuss how to honor ourselves during this time. The first holiday we're going to talk about is Dia de los Muertos, right? Dia de los Muertos is celebrated on October 31st, just like Halloween. Dia de los Muertos goes from October 31st actually through November 2nd, and it coincides with the Catholic holiday of All Saints Day, which is on November 1st, and All Souls Day, which is on November 2nd. It's of Mexican origin and has its roots in Mexico, but it's also celebrated in a lot of other Latin American countries. It's a vibrant and colorful festival that is used to celebrate our deceased loved ones. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? What they offer during that time is they have altars adorned with marigold flowers, candles. They use sugar skull, which are called calacas, and they are calaveras de azúcar. So they're sugar skulls. That's what that means, calaveras de azúcar. So they're a prominent symbol of Dia de los Muertos. What they do is they often, on the skull, the sugar skull, normally across the skull, they have the name of the deceased loved ones written on the forehead. They're both decorative and edible, and often given as gifts. La Catrina is an iconic skeleton figure that has become a symbol of Dia de los Muertos. She is often depicted as an elegantly dressed skeleton, a woman wearing a fancy hat, and La Catrina represents the idea that death is a natural part of life that we should embrace and not fear. So it's a beautiful and meaningful celebration, and is really important in Latin American culture in celebrating and honoring our ancestors. So next we have Fête des Morts. Fête des Morts stands for Festival of the Dead. Now there's no actual Festival of the Dead. In French culture there are similar celebrations and traditions related to remembering and honoring the dead and the ancestors. So the first one is All Saints Day, which falls on November 1st, which would be tomorrow. In France, All Saints Day is celebrated on November 1st, and it's a national holiday dedicated to honoring and remembering all saints, both known and unknown. Families visit cemeteries at this time and pay respects to the deceased loved ones, placing flowers and candles on their graves. And I believe that it's not marigolds, but chrysanthemums that are normally used at this time, as they're the traditional flower associated with All Saints Day and All Souls Day in France. November 2nd, All Souls Day, is a day to remember and pray for your departed loved ones, especially for those in purgatory. People may attend mass and continue to visit cemeteries at this time. These are occasions to bring families together to visit the grave sites of the ancestors and spend time in reflection. This is a time for sharing stories and memories of loved ones that have passed. For me, today, I have to say, during this time, it's my grandmother, and because she always observed these holidays, even if she did it in silence. Even when she couldn't go to church, when that time came around, she was very adamant about observing these days. For All Saints Day and le Jour des Morts, there are multiple rituals that are performed, and some of them are visiting cemeteries, grave sites of the deceased loved one, on both All Saints Day, November 1st, and on All Souls Day, November 2nd. They clean the graves, they put flowers. Many people attend Mass on these days, and it's a time for prayer and reflection. And some churches may hold special services dedicated to the deceased. Lighting candles. Lighting candles on graves is a common tradition. The flickering candle symbolizes the light of hope and remembrance that guides the soul of the departed. There may be special dishes that are associated during this time that are prepared and enjoyed by the family. There may be processions and commemorations that are organized by local communities, churches. These events may involve hymns, prayers, laying of wreaths. We have all these holidays that are a reflection of our ancestors. How do you take all of this and use all this information to honor yourself? It's really important that we do honor ourselves, as we are also beings that will transition, and we will be the ancestors of others that will be remembered on this day. And so reflecting on your mortality, to contemplate the transient nature of life, this can help you have a deeper appreciation for the present moment and motivate you to live a meaningful and purposeful life, because we only have this life. And in reality, we only have this moment that we're in. We're not guaranteed the next moment. Reflecting on mortality brings us more to being present in our lives on the day-to-day. This is a good time to consider what your personal goals are. Write them down. What do you want your personal growth to look like? What contributions do you want to have to your community? These are all the things that people will think about and talk about when they're remembering you on these days. So how do you want that to look? It's a good time. It's a really good time to think about this and to go out there and put forth your energy in a way that you want to be remembered. Practice gratitude. I believe in practicing gratitude every day. You want to express gratitude for the blessings and opportunities in your life. Doing this helps you recognize and appreciate the positive aspects of your existence, which can foster a sense of contentment and fulfillment. And isn't that what we all look for in life, right? We want to be content. We want to be fulfilled. In that way, you're honoring your ancestors in everything that they've done and they left for you, so that you could reach your own goals. You could be content. And they imagine how happy and proud they are when they're reflecting upon you from this other space and dimension, that at the positivity that you're creating in your life. Reconnect with loved ones. This is a good time to reach out to living family and friends. Strengthening your bond with loved ones can be a way to honor the relationships in your life and create a supportive network for yourself. Reach out and touch someone. Engage in acts of kindness. This is a wonderful time to perform acts of kindness and charity. Helping others And contributing to your community can be a way to honor your own values and make an impact on the world. Again, leaving a legacy that when you become someone's ancestor, that will be looked at with great pride. You can attend spiritual services if that's your thing, whatever religion you are. And I also want to put in that even if you're not observing All Saints Day, Dia de los Muertos, it's never a bad time to attend whatever religious or community mass or other spiritual services of your choice that you want to engage in. Engaging in communal worship and reflection can provide a sense of spiritual nourishment, make you feel spiritually fulfilled. Meditation and self-care. Now, wouldn't your ancestors want you to take care of yourself? Of course. In this time, we're going and we're caring for the cemeteries and we're reflecting on our ancestors. And this is a good time to reflect on ourselves. What do you need? What do you need to do to feel fulfilled? Meditation is a time for you to connect with your higher self, to hear yourself, to help you find your purpose in life, to help you connect with what you can do to have more of a positive impact on your community. Meditation is really wonderful for this. Meditation and journaling can help you gain clarity on your priorities, your values, and your aspirations in life. And in order to do that, you have to quiet your mind. Maybe you need a massage. Every time I go to get my nails done, they always say, like, you know what, you come in here, you're so relaxed. Like, it's almost like at that time I can close my eyes and I don't have to think of anything. I don't have to do anything. I find this to be a time that I can self-reflect because I'm quieting my mind. I'm not doing anything. I'm just being. And that's what meditation is about. Meditation is about just being, so that you can tap into your values, your aspirations, and your priorities. Celebrate life. Like, what else can be said about that? This is a time to honor the deceased. Also to celebrate life. Use the occasion to celebrate the beauty that life has. And when I reflect and I think of my grandmother, I think of how much she lived her life, how much she loved her life, how precious she knew life was. And so when you celebrate life, that also puts you in the present, because the life that you're celebrating, you can celebrate some prior moments. Like we have birthdays, right, where we celebrate our life today, but we celebrate the day that we were born, right? But we're celebrating today, which is the birthday. It brings us back to that present moment. And it's really an amazing thing that life comes full circle, right? Like you're celebrating the dead, but you're celebrating their life. You're celebrating yourself, and you're celebrating what will be after you're gone. Last but not least, learn from your ancestral wisdom. So this is a time to explore traditions that your ancestors had, your culture, family heritage. This provides you a very, very valuable insight to your roots. The more connected you are to your roots, the more connected you are to yourself. And when you're connected to yourself, you're able to set personal goals, have gratitude. At the end of the day, these celebrations bring you back to celebrating yourself. So today, as you reflect on your ancestors and you celebrate however it is that you do, whatever rituals it is that you do, whether it is that you light a candle, that you go to church, that you set up an altar to commemorate your ancestors, the candy skulls that you eat and enjoy and mark with your ancestors' name, I want you to also celebrate yourself. I want you to take some time for yourself to meditate, set some goals, reflect on your mortality, tap into your ancestry, your roots, and most of all, celebrate your life. The life that was given to you by your ancestors. The life that you will give to those that come after you. The life that you give to the generations that will come from your personal growth, your acts of kindness, and the communities that you serve during your time here before you transition. So I want you to take these 3 days, enjoy the celebrations if that's part of your culture. And if those celebrations are not part of your culture, whether it's Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, Fete, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, if those are not part of your celebrations and rituals, I want you to create your own and celebrate yourself. Until next time, I am sending you love, light, knowledge. Spread the wealth.